Now we're going to look at solving simultaneous equations. Simultaneous equations basically are a pair of equations with two unknowns, x and y, a and b, p and q, and you've got to solve them simultaneously at the same time to find the answer to x and y, or p and q, or a and b, etc. Now, what we do is, there's an example, two examples there of simultaneous equations. What we want to do is, we want to multiply each of these equations in order that when we add them together, or we take them away, one of the letters completely disappears. So, for example, if we look at this first one here, if I want to eliminate a, then what I do is, I multiply that one by 4, and I multiply that one by 3. And that means I've got 12a and I've got 12a. When they've got the same sign, for the same sign we subtract. So I'm going to do that one. So that would give us 12a, and then we'd do 4 times 3b is also 12b. 4 times negative 3 is minus 12. Then we multiply that one by 3. 3 fours are 12, so that's 12a. Multiply the negative b gives us minus 3b. And multiply 11 by 3 gives us 33. Now, we've got the same numerical value in front of a. They're both positive. So really what I've got to do is I've got to take them away. Now, put a big bracket around it and go through each term in turn. So the first thing we do is we do 12a, take away 12a. That disappears. That was the whole point of doing this. Then we've got 12b, and I want to take away negative 3b. Two negatives make a positive. So 12b plus 3b gives me 15b. And then for the last term, I've got negative 12, and I want to take away another 33. So negative 12, take away another 33, gives me negative 45. So now I've got an equation with just one letter in it. I can solve that easily. So 15b, that means 15 times b. To undo that, I divide both sides by 15. So b is equal to minus 45 divided by 15. 15 into 45 goes 3 times, so b is equal to negative 3. Once we've got that, we want to find out what a is. So then we sub b equal to negative 3 into, and pick one of the original equations. I'm just going to go straight for that first one. So we've got 3a plus 3b is equal to negative 3. I know that b is minus 3, so I've got to substitute for this 3b. So I'm going to put a number in there instead. So when I write that equation out, 3a stays the same. This 3b becomes 3 times negative 3 is negative 9, and that's equal to minus 3. I solve that as a normal equation, and that means I've got to add 9 onto both sides. So I'm going to add 9 on there, and I add 9 on there. That gives me 3a is equal to 6. So therefore, a is equal to 6 divided by 3, so a is equal to 2. Always summarise your answers at the end. So a is equal to 2, and b is equal to negative 3, and double underline your answer. So that's me. I've solved those equations simultaneously. I've got a and I've got b in the one big sum. Now, I'm not going to do all the rest of these, but in this case, say I wanted to eliminate b. Well, there's 3b, and there's 1b, so all I need to do is multiply that one by 3. But when I do that one would be 5a minus 3b is equal to negative 7. That one would become 9a plus 3b is equal to 21. Now here, I'm not going through the whole question, we're just setting it up. There's a negative 3b and a plus 3b, so when you get different signs, it's a dad's one, and that means different sign, add. So I call them dads. You may have a different way to remember it. So that's a dad's one. Different sign, mean you add. So we add them together and we get 9 and 5a gives us 14a. They disappear, that was the whole point of it. And we've got minus 7 plus 21. That's the same as 21 take away 7, which is 14. And I can work out what a is, etc. This one here, if I want to eliminate A, I swap that over. So that 5, I multiply that equation by 5. That 4, I multiply that equation by 4. That gives me 20A. That gives me 20A. So the same sign. So same sign, subtract. Next one. If I want to eliminate B. Now, there's a 4B and there's a 2B. All I have to do is multiply that one by 2. So that would give me 6A plus 4B is equal to, and I'm not even interested in what that is. This one here is going to be 6A. And what else have we got? We've got minus 4B. And when I do that one, when I add those two together, they're going to disappear. So different signs add. Okay, there's actually something wrong with that equation. Okay, so that's a dad's one, different sign adds, and they would disappear. Okay, and actually it would be okay because it would be 12A, they would disappear. This one here, say now I want to eliminate A, so I swap that 2 up there and I times that one by 2, I swap that one down there and I times that one by 3, that's going to give me 6A, that's going to give me 6A, same sign, so same sign, subtract. This one here, if I eliminate B, I'm multiplying that one by 5, I'm multiplying that one by 2, that's going to give me 10B, that's going to give me negative 10B, so different signs is a dad's one, different sign, add, becomes a dad's. Okay, so same rules that you use all the time. Last year, or at the summer, this question came up in paper 1, so no calculator allowed, it's worth 3 marks. So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to make the decision, are you going to eliminate P or are you going to eliminate R? So we'll just stick with eliminating the first letter. That's a 3, so I'm multiplying that top equation by 3. That's a 2, I'm going to multiply that equation by 2. Be careful when you're doing the arithmetic. So 3 times 2p gives me 6p. 3 times minus 7r gives me minus 21r. And 3 times 11 gives me 33. Take 1 second to check it. 6p minus 21r, 33. Multiply that one by 2 gives me 6p plus 4r. And 4 2s are 8. Take a wee second to check it. 6p, 4r, and 8. So that's my 2 new equations. Now we wanted to eliminate, we decided to eliminate p, so they're the same sign, they're both positive. So when they're the same sign, subtract. It's an SSS one, same sign, subtract. So I put a bracket right round that bottom one, and I put a big minus sign, and do it almost as a sum, put your line under it. So I've got 6p, take away 6p, they disappear. That was the whole point of it. Then I've got minus 21r, but I want to take away another 4r. So that's minus 25r. That is equal to 33, and I want to take away 8. And when I take away 8, it becomes 25. So 25r, negative 25r is 25, so r is equal to 25 divided by negative 25, which is equal to negative 1. So r equals negative 1. Now we want to sub that into one of the equations, so I'm going to sub, and you've got to write this down, sub r equal to negative 1 into, and write down the equation that you choose. I'm going to change the bottom one because it's smaller numbers. So 3p plus 2r is equal to 4. So 3p, I want to find p, so 3p stays as it is just now, plus 2r, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, that's equal to 4. Add 2 onto both sides, so 3p is equal to 2 plus 4 is 6. Don't want 3p, so I'm dividing by 3, so p is equal to 6 divided by 3, which is equal to 2. So therefore p is equal to 2. Summarise your answer. So p equals 2 and q is equal to negative 1. Double underline to show that that's your final answer, and that's all your working, perfectly done there. The year before, this was 2023, similar question, 3 marks again. So you learn how to do these, and that's you know what you're doing for your exam. Here we've got 2x and 5x, we've got a 3 and we've got a 2. I'm going to do eliminate the y terms this time because it's smaller numbers. There's a 5 there and a 2, whereas there's a 3 and a 2 here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply that top one by 2, and I'm going to multiply that bottom one by 3. When I do that, I get 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times 3y is 6y, and 2 times 8 is 16. Multiply the bottom one by 3, 3 5s are 15x's. Add on 3 2s are 6y, and that is equal to 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. So we're eliminating y, there it's there. They've got the same sign, so I want to subtract them. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is, because it's a big 15 down there, I'm just going to write them upside down, because it's easier to take away from the biggest one. So I'm going to write the 15x plus 6y equal to negative 6 first, and then the 4x plus 6y equal to 16 at the bottom. So now, same sign, subtract, an SSS one. So big bracket round that to remind you that you're taking away everything in that bracket. So 15x's take away 4x's, leaves me with 11x. 6y take away 6y, disappears, the whole point of it was to get rid of them. And then I've got minus 6 minus another 16, so that's going to be minus 22. So x is equal to, I don't want 11 times x, so I want to divide by 11, so it's negative 22 divided by 11. 2 11s make 22, so x is equal to negative 2. Now I'm going to sub that negative 2 in, so sub x equal to negative 2 into, write down what equation you're choosing. I'll stick with the top one, so 2x's plus 3y is equal to 8. I know x is equal to negative 2, so I'm going to sub for 2x. So 2 lots of that is negative 4. The 3y is staying there because I want to work out what y is, so that's equal to 8. I'm going to add 4 onto both sides, so it disappears from that side, and 8 plus 4 is 12. I don't want 3 times y, I want y, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. 12 divided by 3, y is equal to 4. Double underline your answers, so x is equal to negative 2, y is equal to 4. And that's our final answers. Double underline. I've not done it very neatly, but that's okay. Right, so you either get one that's just straightforward numbers, or you get one that's in a context. So it's words, but it doesn't matter, they're just the same. You make your equations and solve them. You tend to get a wee bit more marks for these ones. So, first thing we've got here is a plane seats 180 passengers. First piece of information. A standard class ticket costs £120 and a business class ticket costs £250. If the plane is full, the ticket sales are 27,450. By forming two equations, calculate how many standard and business class tickets there are. So first thing we've got to see is let standard ticket be, and I don't like S because it confuses us with a 5, so I'm going to call it X, and let business class, okay, a business class ticket B, I wrote by instead of B, so we'll change that, and we'll just make it Y. Normally I would stick with like S and B, but S's, avoid them because they look like 5s, so we'll call it X and Y. Now, first of all, the plane has got 180 seats, and it was full. So my first equation is the X seats and the Y seats, all of those seats counted together, is equal to 180. That's your first equation. Now it's easy to miss that one. So the next thing is a standard class ticket costs 120 and a business class ticket costs 250. So we've got 120 times the standard class, so that's times X's, and we've got 250 lots of the other one, and we call them Y, and the amount of money that was taken in by that is 27,450. 450. So we've got bigger numbers here. Okay, but it doesn't matter. We've got a calculator. So that's my two equations. I want to eliminate one of the letters. So we'll eliminate x, which means I've got to multiply that one by 120. And I can keep that one just the same. So when I multiply that by 120, we end up with 120 x's plus 120y is equal to, and I'm going to do 120 times 180, and 120 multiplied by 180 comes out to be 21,600. The other equation I've got is 120 x's plus 250y is equal to 27,450. So we are eliminating the x terms. They're both positive, so it's same sign subtract. So this is an S, S, S1, same sign subtract. Now I'm looking here, the bigger numbers on the bottom one, so I'm going to do what I did before. I'm just going to flip them round. So 120 x's plus 250y is equal to 27,450. And then I'll read that one down underneath it, 120 x's plus 120y is equal to 21,600. So same sign subtract, put a line under it, put a big bracket round that second equation to remind us that we're taking away every single bit of it. So 120 x's, take away 120 x's, disappear, the whole point of that equation. 250y, take away 120y, will leave me with 130y. And then I've got 27,450, and I want to take away 21,600. And when I take them away, I end up with 5,850. I don't want 130 times that, so we're going to divide by 130. So 5850 divided by 130. And when I divide that out, that gives me an answer of 45. Okay, now we want to find x, so we're going to sub y equal to 45 into, and we'll pick one of the original equations. The easiest one is x plus y is equal to 180. So really that tells me I've got 45 of those business class tickets. So the rest of the plane has got to be the other type. So subbing that in, x has got to be x plus 45 equals 180. I take away 145 from each side. So 180 take away 45, and that leaves me with 135. So x is 135. Okay. Right, now, once I've done that, I've got to state what these things mean. So what did we say x was? X was a standard class ticket, okay, and it cost 120. So x was equal to the standard ticket. So we had 135 of them. So you would say x equals 135. So there was 135 standard tickets. And the last bit we've got to know that y is equal to 45. So there was 45 business tickets. If you do not write these words down like that, you lose a mark. So you've got to state what they are, because we've made up x, we've made up y, so we've got to really finish it off by saying in a sentence what they are: standard tickets and business tickets. So that's the theory of your simultaneous equations, and they're all done exactly the same way.